Major headline there: Insecurity. FG reopens debate on state police as Tinubu declares readiness. Non-oil growth accounts for 20 trillion naira income, says presidency. Constitutional review: Abbas unveils proposed amendments to Southern stakeholders. And then on the punch here this morning, the leading headline: APC opposition clash over FG's revenue growth claim. Non-oil revenue jumps 40% to 20 trillion naira. That's the presidency, and the UN says 1,364 West African children recruited by terrorists, 14,000 schools shot. This morning, I'd like to welcome once more Joshua Moses, who joins us on the show again this week. Good morning.
Good morning. I thank you for having me.
How's your week been so far?
We've been very busy trying to put a lot of things together.
Okay, talking about putting things together, the president is looking to put something together. The statement here, this headline from the Vanguard says, Insecurity, I have to create state police. President Bola Tinubu has said the establishment of state police is unavoidable as part of efforts to strengthen security across the country. His declaration comes as our northern elders yesterday urged him to declare a state of emergency in the north, following protracted insecurity that has devastated the socio-economic life and development of the people in that region. I'm sure over the past decade, we cannot overstate how much insecurity has been a problem in the north. And in some quarters over time, there's been whispers of a state police. But to see the president actually categorically say that he has to consider actually bringing a state police, it looks like this is an action plan is already in place. But the question, firstly, is it what the country really needs?
Well, I don't know. I don't know, because the country needs many things, and there doesn't seem to be anything that's been prioritized. You know, we need security, we need food, we need good roads, we need a whole lot of things. But we have not successfully tackled any one thing to completion to say we have solved this. You know, there are still children who are out of school. There are still hospitals, there are still places you go to, and women are still forced to give birth in deplorable condition. So yes, the country needs security, but and we've spent money on it. This year's budget for the police was I think 1.2 trillion naira 2025, and that's not counting the army, the navy, DSS. So if you put those together, you see how much the country is budgeting. Just 2025 has budgeted for policing, because both military, everything is within that ambit of security. And the question is, have we seen any difference? I think categorically the answer is no, we haven't. There are still killings, there are still kidnappings, there are still a whole lot of these things going on. So the president coming out to say, oh, we want to, he has started plans to institute state policing. The question again is, can we handle this? You know, do the states have capacity to take up the gauntlet of policing themselves? Now there's the issue of doing the whole constitutional amendment, figuring out what the jurisdiction of the state police would be, what the jurisdiction of the federal police would be, setting up new police formations, new police. So this is not going to cost us 1 naira. Is the federal government going to support the states to set this up? Are you going to fund some part of it at least to start it up? Because this is across 36 states, and I know that I think they were talking about creating additional states the other day. So how is it going to work? So I feel like we've not maximized what we have, and we are going into setting up another institution that will also present its own challenges. The governors themselves are saying, no, we are only chief security on paper, we're not. So how about we maybe start modifying the current structure we have to give them more control over the police in their states? How about we set up more security committees that will make sure that the governor is not solely responsible for what happens, that there are people and invested stakeholders who, you know, now the current police force estimated is about 300,000, our federal police. Now I know that there are plans, or I've read that there are plans to increase that to add 600 more. So I feel like these are some of the more achievable routes to go. You go to some police stations, there are no policemen. If you go to police stations in rural areas, for instance, you find maybe 2 policemen or 4. So these are the issues. So instead of solving this problem, want to create a new thing and then start solving that problem, and then have multiple problems we are fighting on different fronts.
Yeah, but sometimes some of the arguments for the creation of state police will be that maybe if it was put at a state level, maybe there could be a case where more people would actually be willing to come into the police force, where also you have people who are trained to deal with, local peculiarities of crime in that area. The way you train people to deal with crime here in Lagos will be different from the way you do people to deal with certain issues in the north. So maybe that could create that different section of police in different states who would deal with the peculiarities of their areas when it comes to insecurity.
I recall at a certain point, I think in Nigerian police, where they started posting people to their localities. If you're from Abia, you get there, you serve in your community, people. So this is, again, it's nothing new. These things have been brought up and taught up. In fact, sometimes it can be a problem when somebody's from a particular area, so the bias creeps in, because that the problem could also mean that you are siding a particular group, and then the other group feels offended, as against somebody who is neutral, who doesn't really. Now, this is not saying that people should not. There are no peculiar situations where your knowledge of the terrain helps you. All I'm saying is that it's not a silver bullet that solves all the problems we have. But the thing is, what are the low-hanging fruits currently in our security system? We need more policemen. We need our police stations better funded. We need better equipment. When we talk about recruitment of police officers, we're not just talking about recruits, or maybe regular, neighborhood police. We're talking about people who will come into the tech space, people who will do forensic investigation, basically equip the police with everything it needs to be able to effectively combat crime. So 300,000 policemen is, for a 200 million country, it is not doing much. I don't know the ratio, I'm not very good at maths, but I think that ratio is pretty abysmal, So how about we tackle the current federal policing, maybe constitutionally revise it so the governors can have more input, more control, as against starting a new structure again. All
right, let me also get your thoughts of why they are at this point on this state policing issue.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Apologies for being late. But you see, I was listening as I was coming in, and I have nothing to contribute. Why? Because Joshua hit the nail on the head. We're talking about 300,000 or about between 300 and 500,000 policemen across Nigeria, where maybe like 20-30% of them are policemen that do extra services. First and foremost, how do we even move that number and bring in more people into police? Now, you say the states will say, let's start our own state police. Do they have the fund? Do they have the infrastructure? Are you now going to create the state police, and then all the police stations and all now belongs to the state? And how do you divide those assets? Is it the federal government that builds them? Are they going to transfer them, or are they going to deduct monies from the state for all those things? And these are all logistics that have to be considered, aside from the fact that it has to be the National Assembly that gives the final verdict, because it's a constitutional issue. So at the end of the day, my own opinion is give some more power to the governors to work with the police system.
Okay, because I was going to ask that, because it looks like sometimes the governor's hands are tied in dealing with these insecurity issues. They always refer to the federal government under the current system.
So and this is my opinion, sometimes you always try and you find an excuse and say, oh, they are not directly in charge of me. But when you want them to do the things you're bidding, you know how to get across to them. You know how to call the IG, who would give you the permission to give you instruction, and so on and so forth. Let's remember, whether it's federal or state, the most important thing is that the policing or the command of the police within a state is to provide security, to protect the lives and properties of the citizens in that state. And that is really, really important. Now, the other question will be this. So, when you now have state policing, where you have interstate crimes, who deals with them? How do you deal with those logistics of local police in Lagos or in Oyo or in Ogun? Is it the federal government that is going to work on that? Because the systems they are talking about are a bit more complex.
Yeah, well, doesn't that bring to mind also the system being run in America, where there's federal and state law enforcement? At federal level, that's when you start referring to the likes of the FBI and all of that, and then at state level. Can we have that like that in Nigeria?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Because when it comes to the federal level, and when you look at crimes that relate to federal level policing, it has to do with either interstate or international crime what's it called? And those are the questions that I put before us. How do you work out those logistics? So if the federal government is the one that is going to deal with that, how do you make sure that how do the federal police even get the information? At what point do you call in the federal police? And these are things, it's not just put it on paper in the constitution and make that constitutional amendment and say, okay, there's state police.
We want to emulate America. We don't have 911. What's the number to call here if there's crime? We don't have command centers where you can coordinate activities, because once you begin to have layers of police, you need some level of coordination across bound. In the central police we currently have, we don't have coordination across states. In fact, in Lagos now, one police station here arrests you. For us to find you will be a problem.
Because you can't go to the next police station and tell you that, this is where the person could be.
Yeah.
There is no database. If I file a case at this police division here, there is no way if you go and file in another case, now me and you the quarrel.
Yes,
they won't know.
File here and you file here, two different people.
There is no database, and these are the things I'm advocating that they should be set up. Set up these things, and when your federal system is working well, you can ask, okay, these are the remnants of things that we can push to the states. The states can now handle this, and then they will grow. They will have time to grow, because now you're just going to be dumping so much. If you actually do it, you dump so much on them, they won't know where to start from. At the end of the messes up everything.
Yeah, just what Joshua said. So there is a crime that happens in Lagos. The person runs into Ogun. And you cannot even you can't connect to police stations in Lagos. How do you now connect the state police in Ogun?
All right, 0700-1051-1051 here, or on our WhatsApp 0909-916-4403. Hello, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome.
Jonathan is my name.
Yeah, talk to us, Jonathan.
Well, I never talk about this issue for a very long time. But I just started thinking just now, rather than state police, I think we should be talking about local government police. I want to believe all of you in that studio. If you look back where you are staying right now, there is one kind of security arrangement or the other. Where I stay, there is. And I think they are effective. And I think rather than state police, I think we should be talking about local government police. This will take us to the grassroots totally. And let the federal police be handling themselves with the state. But if we want to gain security vis-a-vis all the states, including the north, we can lay our hands on the numbers of local governments we have. So let's do a local government police. And let's get these people from the locality they are staying. And I think that will be very effective. Create the structure around that.
Thank you very much. Okay. Local police at the local government level.
Yeah, but if you have state police, he has to deal with all that.
Yes.
Because you now have to have commands that deal not just within the state, but within the local governments. But
will you give local government chairman control over the police formation?
Well, everybody, like we say, like you talked about the states, everybody wants a state.
Yeah, hello, good morning, welcome.
Man, tell your guests to allow us to talk. Good morning to you guys. Evangelist is my name.
Welcome. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Just on the latter note, so I'm not castigating them. They're doing well. So, see, these Nigeria politicians, especially the president, they are very smart. They know how to occupy Nigerians. You understand? Look at all of us. We are busy discussing, state police, proposed state police creation, and we are forgetting what's going on. The insecurity and the hunger. They are very smart. How can you have a state police creation of state police when this president is an apostle? He was an apostle. I know him. I follow him for years. He is an apostle of a state police and a resource control. Show me any country that is operating a federal system of government that is operating under maybe unity, that is not doing the resource control. Where is the resource control? That's the first thing. Let the state control the resources, region control the resources, and there you can. The last one I want to say, the last 3 years of Obama government, that was what we call Parapa. Even the guy now with and you know what happened? The IG, before the election, shut it down. Something the state assembly created, the IG shut it down.
All right, Valencia Sage, your time is up. Thank you very much. I appreciate your thoughts and your contributions. Don't forget, you have just 1 minute to put your thoughts and contributions across to us. You could also send a message on WhatsApp 0909-916-4403. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Olome, how are you today?
I'm good, sir. How are you doing?
Fine. What about Madam Amy?
She's on leave at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Welcome.
Yes, this is Barrister Peter Uku.
All right, go
I'm
ahead. with your
calling
thoughts.
I'm calling from Maryland.
Okay.
Yes, my take on the issue of police or policing in Nigeria. You see, the issue of policing is a local issue. It's not a central issue. It's different from the army, the customs, and other agencies. Policing is a localized venture. In the US, for instance, let me give you an example. Where I lived in Houston, Texas, you have Houston police, you move up to Dallas, they have Dallas police. You go down to Galveston, they have their own police station. It's the mayors of the cities that control the police, not the governors.
Yeah.
So I think if we say we are practicing democracy, we have to follow examples of what other democracies are doing.
All
We
right.
cannot have a Nigerian.
Thank you very much, Barrister Cole, for your thoughts there. Hello, good morning.
Very good morning to the family.
You're welcome.
God bless you for all your management. I mean, God bless my country, Nigeria.
You're welcome.
My name is why calling you from me. Also, this one,
Okay.
you see, the police is very, very necessary. We want it, we need it. And I want to appeal to Mr. President, take a bill to the National Assembly, let the legislature pass it to come in law, let's have it. We are talking of insecurity in the country. More than 300,000 policing, more than 200 million people. No. Let's take charge. The state must know they are making money now. You must secure your state, secure your local, secure the country by paying them very fast salary, fast allowances, do the social cover for them to save the country. We are talking, we are hungry. Look, once terrorizing the country, they don't allow the farmer to enjoy what they are growing, planting. So we need them. We must feed ourselves. But go back to the farm. Mechanized farm is the key. But let police every hamlet, every villages, every state to make sure that secure.
All right. Thank you very, very much. So you can take one more call before take a look at the messages this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, morning.
Yeah, welcome. Turn the volume on radio set, please.
Happy leave to email.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Alaji.
All right, Ladis Ruba, welcome. Share your thoughts with us.
Yes, Mr. John. What happened to the civil defense?
That's what became the NCDCS.
Yeah, that's what you say.
Yeah, that's what became the NCDCS.
Exactly. Look at the position that we're having. We're talking of 300,000 to 200 million people. Also, what future is that? But what this is civil defense to the Nigerian police? The federal government that is financing them, what is their duty? They said they are policing pipeline, and governance and everything. They're not doing nothing. What have them? Increasing the strength of the Nigerian police. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, NSCDC, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Messages here before we wrap up. This is Ademola Adebayo. Trust me, state police in the hands of the state governors is surely a whirlwind that will blow nothing good. It's quite unfortunate that a situation is mismanaged and government feels in its responsibility to take proper steps at the appropriate time, and such problems get out of control. They begin to look for ways to pass the buck. The security challenges of Boko Haram and security banditry and kidnappings for ransom started with the Sharia law introduction by Governor Ahmed Sani Yerima in the year 2000 for political reasons in Zamfara State. Government has failed woefully in its security duties and is now looking for where to pass the buck. Okay. All right, Samson, Onome, say amen. You're not welcome. Or are you scared as an you're only president, yeah, Samson? Okay, this is Ade says for security. My suggestion is a presidential task force to deal majorly with the security in the area affected, similar to Amotekun, while we overhaul the entire Nigerian police. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for your thoughts and contributions this morning, Joshua and Wade, for coming through. Look forward to having you guys tomorrow.
Thanks for having us as usual.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going over now to Sports City here on Breakfast in the City. I'm on the We're here with you all the way to 10 a.m. today.